Hey guys, what's going on? And welcome to another brand new video. And in this video, we are going to create a simple to-do list application by using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. This is a pretty common project for JavaScript learners. So if you are a beginner level JavaScript developer or just learning JavaScript, then this video is for you. So this is our app. Here we can add new task. Just we need to type it down and press enter, or we can click this plus icon here and it will add it to the my task list. And then you can click this cross icon here to remove the item from the task list. It is pretty simple, there is no complex functionalities here. So without any further ado, let's get started with the project. So I have created a folder, the name is to-do list, and it has a index.html, script.js and the style.css, and I opened the folder by Visual Studio Code. The index.html has some boilerplate and the style and script file are empty, but they are connected with the index.html. So at first we need to create the markup for the app. Here we can create a container div which will contain all the elements, and inside it we at first need to add a title. I am going to put it inside an JSON and the title text is to do list. Then I am going to create a form to add the input field where we can add the new task. So I am going to use a form and let's give it a class of row so we can do some stylings. We actually don't need the action here. If we are working with backend, then we may need to add any actions, but for now let's delete it. So inside the form I am going to at first add the input type text, so we can add our task inside this input field. So this is it. We can also add a name, so we will need to add the name because we are going to get the value from this input field by the JavaScript. So that's why the name is important, and I'm going to give it a name of task. We can remove the ID, we don't need it, but we can add a placeholder. So let's add a placeholder, add new task and some dots here. Now this is our input field, but we also need to add the plus icon and it will be also the submit button. So let's do that. Input type will be submit, and the value we can also use the font awesome icons for it, but I am going to keep it simple and use the plus. And let's also add a class of icon so we can add some stylings. So this is our input field and it is done. So now let's move on to the next stage, which is the task list. So it will have a title for it, so let's use the h4 and the text is my task. Okay, it will do. For the task list I am going to add an unordered list, so it will be ul. Let's also add a class of task underscore list, and inside this we are going to add some list items. So let's do that. Learn.js. So this is our list, and we also need to add the cross icon, right? So let's use a span with the class of delete. So inside it you can use the font awesome icon or any other icon, but let's keep this simple and use an X, capital X, so it will work. Let's make some copies. Actually we will remove the list items here from here later, because by using JavaScript we are going to create new li items from this input field and push it inside the another list item. So we won't need them in the future, but for now, for styling purposes, let's leave it like this here. So I think every markup is done. I have opened the index.html by the live server plugin, and this is it. There is no styling in it. So let's do some stylings. I'm going to make it smaller so we can see from here. Okay, Now let's move on to the style.css and do some stylings. At first I am going to use a Google font, so I am just going to copy and paste this. We don't need to go to the fonts.google.com. It is Montserrat. Let's use some universal styling to make the margin 0, padding 0 and box sizing border box. It will remove the existing default margin and padding. Now we are going to style the body. So the body has a gradient background color and an universal font height of 400, font size of 16 pixels and a font family of this Montserrat. So the height of the body will be 100 viewport height, and the position is relative because we are going to make the position of this container absolute and make this centered. So let's do that. Let's style the container now. So for the container I have given this a fixed height of 450 pixels. The background color is white, border radius of 15 pixels, that makes the corners rounded, and also a box shadow to make it looks like it pops up from the background, and height of 80%, position of absolute because we need to make it centered. That's why we used left 50%, top 50%. But in that case, if we just use these two, it will start from the 50% top, and from left it will be starting from the 50% that we don't want. That's why we need to use the transform to make it properly centered. Now it is centered. The text align inside the container is also centered. Now let's style the JSON tag here. So we are going to add a font size of 36 pixels and color of kind of grayish, and also margin all around it. Now we have added a row class with this form. Actually we should add a row class with the unordered list also, but I forget to add that. Let's do that. Let's add a div with the class of row, and I am going to cut and paste it inside it. So we can add a generalized padding with all this row, this two row. So let's do that. In style.css I am going to add some padding with this row. So it has a padding of 0 and 40 pixels. The first value will be applied for top and bottom, and it will be 0, but for left and right it will be 40 pixels. Now let's move on to the input field. So the input field is this one, and we are going to add some stylings with it. So the input field now has a height of 100%, a background color of white, and also it has some box shadow. So it has this pop-up effect, and a border radius of 34 pixels, which make this corner rounded, and the input field has some border and outline by default. We are going to make that none, and also some padding. But we need some padding at the left and right. We can actually do that. We have the class of row with it, so we are going to apply that. So let's target the row and add some padding of 0, because we don't need the padding at the top and bottom, we just need the padding at left and right. So for left and right it will be 40 pixels. Now it has some gap. We are going to style this later, but for now let's style this. We need to change the placeholder text styling, so let's do that. For that we can target the row input and the placeholder. So font size is 16 pixels now, the color is grayish, font family is Montserrat. Now we need to style this plus icon here. For that we need to position it inside this row. That's why we need to make the position of this plus icon absolute, and the parent element, which is the row, will have a position of relative. So let's do that. This is the row. We can add the position of absolute. We can add the position of relative. Now we can add the position absolute with this plus icon. So it has a class of this icon, so we can target it. So let's do that. Let's target the input with the class of the icon. Now for font size, let's make it larger for like 35 pixels. The plus will be bigger now. Let's change the color to white, because for the background we need some different colors. So let's add a background color of darker value. Now it has the background color of this green. I think this is green. Okay, but it is taking the entire white, and we actually don't want that. To make it smaller, we can use the void of auto. Now it will take the white that it needs. Now we need to make it completely rounded, so I am going to add some padding with it and also some border radius, so it will make it completely rounded. Now it is completely rounded, but we also need to position it properly. In order to do that, I am going to add a position of relative, and from right it will be 42% and from top 50%. Let's also add a border with it and also a transition. Although I don't think it is properly centered, but we are going to position it later. But for now, let's add a border of 1 pixel solid and transparent, because for hover effect we are going to remove the background color and show the border. That's why we need to add it, otherwise it will do some flickering effect. So I'm going to now add the hover effect. It will have this color and the background color will be white and the border color will be this background color, and now it is looking fine. But it will be better if we add a transition effect with it. So I am going to add a transition of 0.3 second. Now it looks fine. Okay, now let's move on to the next thing, but before that we can change the cursor effect. So let's add a cursor to pointer. Now it will have this little hand icon. Now let's move on to the next thing, which is this my task. So it has a H4 tag. So we are going to install the H4 tag, and the font size is 24 pixels. The color is kind of grayish, and it also has some margin at the top and the bottom. The 0 is for the value of left and right. It doesn't need any margin at the left or the right. It is completely centered. Now we are going to install the list items. So it has a class of row, and inside the row there is the unordered list, and the unordered list has a class of task underscore list. So the list style is none and the text align is left. Actually it doesn't have any row, but we can actually add a row div here. Actually the div with the class of row. It will add some padding, because otherwise if we add this input field void of 100%, then it will be taking in the entire void and it will not look good. Okay, the class name was wrong, that's why it was not working. Now the task list style is none and text align left. Now we are going to install this list items here. So let's target the same thing here, and we need to add the li, because we are going to install the list item. We don't need these two anymore. So I'm going to add some styling with it. So it has now has a background color of white and a box shadow. It looks fine, and also a border radius to make the corner rounded, and also a padding and the margin at the bottom, and font size of 16 pixels. The color of is kind of grayish, and the position of relative. We need the position of relative because we are going to position the X icon at the right side. So we are going to make the span with the class of del position of absolute and position it properly. So let's do that. We can just copy this. I actually don't need it here, but in this case we are going to target the span, nothing else, span. So let's add some stylings. At first we need to make the position of absolute. Now from the right, let's try 9 pixels, and it is at the right side. From top, let's make it 6 pixels. Okay, it is not looking good, but let's add some padding with it. Padding of 9 pixels and 16 pixels. Let's see how this looks. It is almost centered but not accurately. Let's set a border radius of 50%, so it will be completely rounded. Let's add a box shadow with it, so it will have some pop-up effect and it will look fine, and it is. Let's also make the cursor pointer, so it will have some hand icon on the mouse. And let's also add a transition of all 0.3 second is. But in order to make this work, we also need to add some hover effect. So let's add a hover. The bracket is double. Okay, let's make the color to white and change the background color to red. Okay, it looks fine, but it is actually not completely centered, so we need to work on that. Let's make the X icon a little bit bigger. So I'm going to use the font size of 22 pixels, and now it is completely centered and it is looking fine. Okay, now we need to make this work, right? So let's move on to the script.js, which is the main part. That's what you are here for. So what do we need here? Let's think about the project. When we type something here, we need to get the value from this field. Then we need to click this, or we can just press enter, and this will add the task in this list items, right? So let's get the things by variables. So I'm going to use the let to get the form. So we can use document.querySelector. Although you can use get element from class name or get element from ID, but I like this query selector because we can apply it on almost everywhere. So let's get the form with the class of row. Although there is only one form here, we don't need to add the row, it will work just fine. So now we get the form. Now we can get the value of this input field from this name, which is task. So let's do that. Now here in this form variable, we get the form. Now we can grab the value from this field by using this name of this field. But before that, let's add a event listener. So we want to add the event listener with this form. The event will be submit, right? Because the input field has a type of submit. So when we press the enter, it will be a submit of the form. And also when we click this plus icon, it will also be the submit. So let's target the form, and we are going to add an event listener with it. The event is submit. Now we are going to add a function. We can use the function, or we can use an ES6 feature, which is the arrow function. So let's use the old one, which is function, and here we can add our things. But inside this function, I am going to pass an event parameter. So this event parameter will contain everything we want. So let's console.log here of this E, and we can see what this event parameter contains. Let's see the console, and let's type something and submit. Actually it's going to refresh and remove everything. So we can prevent default refreshing effect by using prevent default. So the default function of the form, when we submit a form, it will refresh the web page, and here we prevent the default functionality, so it will not refresh anymore. So let's do that. Let's submit the form, and here this is the event parameter. You can find pretty much everything, right? Here is the target. You can also get the input, the class list, everything. So let's remove the console.log, we don't need it. Now we are going to add some functionality. So when someone submit the form, what will happen? We need to get the inputs from the field, right? So we can add the input inside an variable. So let's create a variable, and I'm going to name the variable to do. and inside this we are going to get the form, which is this form. We can use this variable name and dot then the name of the input field, which is task. So let's use the form dot task and value. Now we will get the value from this input field. To make sure if it works or not, we can console.log the to do. Now let's see if this works or not. Learn JavaScript, I am going to press enter, and here is the input field. But there is a simple issue here. If we use some space before it and some space after that and submit the form, it will have the spaces before it, but we don't need it. That's why we are going to trim the value. We can use the JavaScript trim functions, so it will remove any of the unwanted space around the task or the input value. Now if we get some spaces before that and submit the form, it will not have any space before it. So the trim is working just fine. Now let's use an if function, because if this is empty and we press something, and as you can see here, this has some blank spaces. That's why we are going to check if this field is empty or not. We can actually do that pretty easily. We are going to use an if statement. So to do, which is this one, if this value is empty, that means to do dot length, and if this length is 0, then this if statement will return false, and if this is any other value than 0, it will return true. If it is true, then it will do some args here, and we are going to add the args in here later. But before that, we are going to create another function. So this function is to push the input value in the unordered list here. So it will be pretty easy. Let's do that. Let's create a new function. Actually, we can put it inside a variable. So let's do that. I'm going to name the variable HTML template. Let's add a function, and let's add a parameter of to do, which is this value, the input value. We are going to push this value inside an list item in this position, and then we are going to push this list item in the entire line inside the unordered list. That's what we are going to do. So let's do that, and I'm going to add a variable of and we are going to use the backticks. The advantage of use backticks is that we can directly input the variables. Let me show you how this works, but before that let's copy a list item from here, because we are going to create the list item and push it inside the unordered list. So this is it. We just need to change the text here, and we are going to get the text from this to do, which is the value of this input field. For using a variable inside the backticks, we are going to use a $sign and the curly braces, and we can put our value. Sorry, this is not it. We are going to get the value from the to do, and this is everything we need to do. Now we need to push this li inside the unordered list. So for that, we are going to get the unordered list from the DOM. So let's do that. I'm going to add another variable of unordered list, document dot query selector, not all, only the query selector, and it has this class of task list, but we need to wrap it inside an quotation. Okay, now we need to push this li inside the unordered list, right? So that's what we are going to do now. So unordered list, actually this is not the unordered list, this is the variable which gets us the unordered list, and inside it let's use the inner HTML, so it will modify the inner HTML. We cannot use the equal, because in that case it will remove everything inside the unordered list and get only this current li, but we don't want that. We just want to add new li at the bottom of it. If the input field is not empty, then we need to run this function, right? So that's what we are going to do, and in here we are going to pass the to do. So let's see if this works or not. So let's do that. Hello, press enter, and here it has been added. So I'm going to remove the existing li, we don't need that anymore. Now let's see if this works or not. Hello, hi. Actually we need to add another functionality here. When we type something here and press enter, we need to reset the input field, right? So let's do that. In here, after running the HTML template function, we are going to reset the form, which is this one. So we are going to use the reset function, and I think now it will be fine. And now the input field is empty. Now we can add another one, like that. Now the task list is working fine. Now we are going to add some functionality with the cross icon. So we are going to remove the element where we click the cross icon, right? But if we add and separate event listener with each of the cross icons, it will have some performance issue. So that's why we are going to add the event listener with the entire unordered list. Like on this total unordered list, and we are going to use an if statement to check if we are clicking on this cross icon. If we click on this cross icon, then we will remove the entire element. So let's add the event listener on the entire unordered list. The event listener will be click. So whenever we click on that unordered list, something will happen. Let's use the arrow function of ES6 here. It will look ugly because we use the old style function, then we use ES6 function, but let's use it. So we are going to pass an event parameter with it, just like the before, and we don't need to type the function. This arrow will do its job as the function. So everything is fine. Let's console.log if it's work or not. Console.log, let's type yes. Whenever we click on the unordered list, it will, but before that we have console.log this to do. We don't need that anymore, the task is done. So let's add a new task, and if we click anywhere on that, like this cross icon here, it is typing yes on the console. Now let's see how we can use the parameter of event to get the target list. So let's console.log it, e.target, it will do. Let's add a new task, and if we click here, it is the list item. If we click the cross, it is the span. By this we can get the element we click on, but we are going to target this class list, so we can actually do that. Dot class list, let's save, let's add another task, and here we can get the class list. So this is the value, which is the del, this is the class list. So let's use an if statement to check if the class list dot contains the class name is del. So if the class list is containing the class of this del, then we need to remove the element. So let's remove the console.log, and here we can console.log anything. Let's see if this works or not. There is an error here because I got a simple typing mistake. It contains. Okay, now there is nothing, but if we click this cross, it is logging the text here. So that's what we are going to do. Now we are going to remove the parent element of this del. So let me show you how this works. Here there are some, okay, this is the target list we are going to click, and the parent element of this del is this li here, right? So now we are going to target the parent element of this del and remove the entire thing. Let's remove that, let's save it, And here let's target the e dot target dot parent element, not displaced event, dot remove. And let's see if this works or not. Hello. And if we click the cross icon, and it removes. So let's add different steps here. Now if we click the cross, it's gone, it's gone. So this is pretty much everything, and this was the simplest to-do list. You can add more functionality with it. Suppose we can add an search bar to search through the task list. Here we can categorize the task list in different portions or different categories. So we can also add a category input field, or we can select different categories to add our new task. So that is up to you. You can do more experiments with JavaScript to learn stuff. So if you make this any better, don't forget to share your project with us. You can upload your project in GitHub and share the link in the comment below. And by the way, if you want to get this source file, I am going to add the source file in the GitHub repository, and I will add the link in the description below. Don't forget to check that out. Thank you very much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next video.